Does genetic evidence truly prove evolution, or are we missing crucial pieces of the puzzle? This is where our journey begins today. We are about to delve into a debate that has been at the heart of scientific discourse for years. On one side, we have scientists who assert that genetic evidence offers irrefutable proof of evolution. On the other, we have a group of skeptics who question the validity of this evidence, suggesting that there may be more to the story than what meets the eye. Let's delve deeper into these perspectives and find out. On one side of the debate, genetic evidence is often cited as a strong proof for evolution. This argument is rooted in the belief that genetic similarities across different species is virtually the same in all organisms, from bacteria to humans. This would suggest a common origin of all life on Earth. Furthermore, the concept of phylogenetic trees is a central theme in the understanding of evolution. Phylogenetic trees, which are essentially family trees for species, depict the evolutionary relationships among various biological species based upon similarities and differences in their genetic characteristics. The belief here is that every gene or pseudogene in every living organism, when analyzed with its homologs from other species, gives essentially the same phylogenetic tree. This notion here paints a picture of a neatly organized branching tree of life, where all organisms are connected through a series of common ancestors. It's a compelling image, and one that has been popularized in numerous textbooks and documentaries. Yet there are now found to be many nuances and complexities that challenge the simplicity of the phylogenetic tree model. In fact, some scientists argue that genetic evidence doesn't provide a clear-cut support for evolution. For instance, Professor Richard Buggs, a renowned expert in evolutionary genomics, challenges the Richard Dawkins notion that every gene or pseudogene in every living organism gives the same phylogenetic tree when analyzed with its homologs from other species. He asserts that if this were true, phylogeny building would be straightforward, but it's not. Terms like horizontal gene transfer, incomplete lineage sorting, introgression, and molecular convergence are not rare curiosities, but common occurrences in genomic literature. Moreover, Buggs suggests that if Richard Dawkins' statements were accurate, phylogenetic software like Astral, Astrid, and Bucky, designed to deal with gene tree incongruence, would be seldom used. Yet they are used often. This raises serious questions about the validity of the evolutionary argument based on genetic evidence. Now let's consider the work of Dr. Winston Ewart, who amassed 9 massive genetic databases. In every single one, the dependency graph model, which is synonymous with intelligent design, surpassed the common descent model. The difference was not marginal, but significant. For example, for the homologene dataset, the dependency graph model was superior to common descent by a factor of over 10,000. For the other 8 datasets, the Bayes factors range from 40,967 to 515,450 bits, and this is where 6.6 bits would be considered to provide decisive evidence for the dependency graph, intelligent design, model. Furthermore, the comparison of human and chimpanzee genomes has revealed striking differences, contradicting the widely accepted belief of their 98 to 99% similarity. Dr. Richard Buggs, when looking at the newly sequenced, more accurate chimpanzee genome, reported that the overall similarity is only about 80%. This discrepancy is further supported by research showing stark differences in gene transcripts and alternative splicing patterns between humans and chimps. In a 2012 article titled "Comparing Gene Transcripts from Different Species Reveals Surprising Splicing Diversity," it is stated, "The alternative splicing patterns are very different even between humans and chimpanzees." And in a 2016 paper titled "Widespread Expansion of Protein Interaction Capabilities by Alternative Splicing," it is stated, as many as 100,000 distinct isoform transcripts could be produced from the 20,000 human protein-coding genes, collectively leading to perhaps over 1 million distinct polypeptides obtained by post-translational modification of products of all possible transcript isoforms. Dr. Stephen Meyer adds another layer to the counter-argument. He asserts that the non-coding regions of the chimp and human genomes, which can be likened to different operating systems for computers, are species-specific. In other words, they are significantly different in the two species, suggesting an independent origin of humans from primates. This brings us to the question, where does this leave us? So, does genetic evidence unequivocally prove evolution? The answer isn't as clear-cut as some might have you believe. Yes, there are striking genetic similarities across species. This has often been interpreted as evidence of a shared ancestry, which forms the backbone of evolutionary theory. But hold on a moment, there are also significant incongruences and differences that can't simply be swept under the rug. For instance, the percentage of exact nucleotide matches between human and chimpanzee genomes is only around 80%, a far cry from the nearly identical levels of 98 to 99% often cited. Moreover, the alternative splicing patterns, which contribute to our genetic diversity, are vastly different even between humans and chimpanzees. And then there's the fact that our non-coding regions, in effect the operating systems of our genomes, are species-specific, providing another clear point of divergence. So, while genetic evidence has been often used by Darwinists such as Richard Dawkins to lend support to the theory of evolution, recent advances in genetics have raised many questions that can't simply be ignored. And that's the beauty of science. It's a constant quest for knowledge, a journey that's full of surprises, even uncomfortable surprises for atheists such as Richard Dawkins, who once falsely believed that the genetic evidence conclusively proved that humans evolved from some chimpanzee-like primate. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of genomes, the genetic evidence against Richard Dawkins' belief that genetic similarities prove evolution continues to grow stronger and stronger.